What's up, people? Pussing While Black here, and we were gonna do this yesterday, but I figured since OKC played yesterday evening, I wanted to save this for today, the recording for today. That way, Ant's favorite team is OKC. My favorite team is the Bulls. We do both recaps of both opening games, and there you go. We see how this goes. So on the line is my esteemed colleague Anthony Joslin.
Salute, Mr. Dean. Good day, world.
How you doing, bro? So Thursday, well, today is Thursday. Tuesday, rather, was opening day, and the Bulls and the Cavs played. But yesterday was a full opening day, as they have 14 games, and Tuesday they only had 3 games. So, since that was the fresh on everybody's mind, the OKC against the Spurs, and since you're the OKC fan that knows more about this than I do, what is your opinions of what you saw?
Man, I'm gonna tell you. In years past, the Thundercats ran an ISO dime type offense.
Right.
You know, Westbrook would come up, ISO dime, and then every so often he would kick out to the shooters, Serge Ibaka, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like they're running a motion offense. Seems like they're doing a little cutting off the ball. Seems like really, I think with Russell Westbrook being married now, it has affected his game because he seems like he wants to share a little bit more. But, KD seemed like he was a little rusty. But you know what? What I was proud of, they got stops.
Yeah, they did.
To the game.
Yeah, they did.
To ensure that they won games.
That dude Adams, that big man Adams, man,
yeah.
He was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I know you had mentioned this before. I don't think we were recording though, but you were talking about Dion Waiters, dude.
Dion Waiters hit some big buckets down the stretch. I mean, he really surprised me because he used his height advantage over Tony Parker, and he was like went right to the business.
Right. Well, now was Dion Waiters and Westbrook playing together, or is that going to be like Dion is going to be?
I think he was in with the cancer lineup.
With the second unit?
He showed me a lot of things. He's an awesome rebounder, man. And he finishes quite well around the basket.
Right. Man, some bill collectors calling. Yay. That has nothing to do with this household at all. But anyway, yeah, from what I saw, like, cause I wasn't sure that they were playing together, and I was like, it seemed like he was either running the point or DJ Augustine was running the point.
Yeah, Augustine had some very nice passes.
Yeah, he did. That was cool. Did you by any chance catch the second game of the night?
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a sleeper now. As I get older, I relish my sleep opportunities as much as any of my conquests right now. So I saw part of it. But I want to commend those guys. By the way, condolences to the Saunders family.
Right.
Because I don't honestly know how I would have been able to do it.
Right. I feel bad for it was a very nice gesture that the Lakers got to honor Flip because the Timberwolves were there. I didn't get I actually took advantage of that preview that League Pass preview, and I watched the Mavericks and Phoenix game. And Mavericks is gonna be okay. I don't think they're gonna do much in the West just because the West is gonna be good and
the West is so. The West actually needs to have its own playoff.
hey, you know what? That hasn't been that isn't an old idea, man.
You know what I
It's
mean?
not.
They need to have their own championship because it's gonna be stacked.
Because really, there's like 10. There's literally 10 Western Conference teams that probably deserve to make the playoffs, and there's only maybe 3 Eastern Conference teams that deserve to make the playoffs. But
Right.
But what did you think of the Spurs, man? I know you're.
I think the Spurs are. The Spurs are like Madonna to me, man. They just keep reinventing themselves. She was a slutty girl from Detroit. Now she's an English woman. You know what I mean?
Right. That writes children's books.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the way I think about the San Antonio Spurs, and I just was kind of tripping how they went to like a high-low post offense.
Right.
But I think that I don't see them making it out of the West.
You don't?
Because you have to score. It's not about just stopping people. You got to score now.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna have enough points to get it off.
Yeah, they're still trying to. Aldridge looks fine. Tim Duncan is probably gonna play a couple extra years because of Aldridge now. Kawhi Leonard is
Hey, man, I just want him to get a haircut, bro.
Who? Aldridge?
No.
Duncan?
Tim Duncan, yeah.
Okay, you're not feeling the beard, man.
No, he looks like he cuts his hair with a Flowbee.
Wow. None against people that actually use Flowbee, but wow. Maybe the barbers are really bad in San Antonio. I don't know.
Well,
watch we get YouTube comments from barbers from San Antonio. Come down and get a haircut. Like, okay. But nah, man. But yeah, they look good to me, man. I mean, it's the first game, and didn't Russell have 10 assists?
Yeah, he had like 10 assists and like 32 points.
Yeah, and KD, I'm not gonna say he looked tentative.
KD, I wanna say that he was kind of rusty. You know what I mean? I wanna say that some shots that I never thought he would miss, he missed.
Right.
So, if you take like a year and a half off, it's gonna take a while for you to get back right.
Yeah, but I think the talent on that team, which is why both of us have them coming out the West, is enough to where it's not going to be a problem. I mean, and Russell seems, his still normal angry self, and he's sharing the ball. And the offense seems a lot more free-flowing than it was. And I want to say the assists look more in the flow of the offense. Whereas before, like last year, it seemed like Russ was just trying to force to get a triple-double every game or a double-double every game. It seems like now it's not forced. It's like in the flow of the offense.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
So, I caught a little bit of Laker game. I caught it in spurts because, when you're watching League Pass, they don't have halftime coverage. It just stops. And so I'll flip, from game to game. From what I saw with the Lakers, it was nice. Kobe was his regular gunner self, but it seems like they, I don't know. And then I found out this morning that they ended up losing the game. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was watching them, it seemed like I thought, okay, the Lakers gonna win, and then like I woke up this morning and they ended up losing, and what happened? So I don't necessarily know what happened, but apparently they're moving Andrew Wiggins to the 2 guard position now, and Tayshaun Prince is the small forward, and Rubio is and Zach LaVine is going to be.
So Rubio, for the part that I saw, he developed a nice little shot.
And that's all you really need, man. Like, which is good because, you know, the white chocolate style passes that he was making, that only goes so far. You need to be able to score too when called upon. I only know of one point guard that really didn't have a shot that had a long career, and that was Jason Kidd, and he developed one late.
Yeah.
But you have anything going on? Anything else going on with the game, or can we move on to the Bulls?
Let's move on to the Bulls.
All right. I'm sure you saw the game just as I did. Here are my thoughts. They, and this was more evident with the game yesterday with the runs, but this is what I was talking about in the other video that we did in the preview vid. They're not gonna stop people like a lot. This is not the same offense as Tibbs was doing. It's a motion offense, so it's similar to what Golden State is running. It's similar to what OKC is running. We don't have the shooters that those two teams have. We do have the penetrators, like, Derrick Rose looked very good. Nico Mirotic looked very good as his first start this season. He looked very good. He led all scorers with 19. It suits him better. That's gonna be my pick for most improved player, just because he's gonna score a lot more points. The ghost of Thibodeau is still on this team because it's not completely. They're gonna have to outgun people, but they can make stops. What this team reminds me of is and I hope I don't get the year wrong, but what was the year that Dallas lost to the playoffs to the Heat? They lost in the finals. Was it 06?
Yeah.
Okay. The 06 Mavericks, if this team turns into the 06 Mavericks, meaning, and it's actually reverse. Like, the 06 Mavericks went like this. Nelly was the coach. Avery was the assistant coach for a while. I think mid-season, Don Nelson took a step back and let Avery coach the team some quarter of the season through or mid-season, and they made it to the finals that year. And it was basically, he kind of did a hybrid of what Nelly was doing, and he put some Spurs stuff in there. So when the changing of the guard happened, they were still running the same run and gun style offense that Nelly was running, but they had like half court sets, and they put more of a prevy on defense. So you ended up making it to the finals. You ended up losing to the Heat because that was a better team, but that D-Wade Shaq combo was a problem. But this is kind of what I'm seeing in the first couple games with the Bulls. By this team being built the way Tom Thibodeau wanted, defense-centric, and for the most part they kept that core together, it's going to be, the offense is going to be motion-style offense, and the lineups are going to be more offensive-centric. But by Jimmy Butler being a defender, by Rose being a defender somewhat, by Gasol being a defender, if you can get timely stops in the game, like I don't agree with Kenny and Charles Barkley at all. Like I was listening to the post game of them. Noah's basically running on one foot, and heart and soul and all. Our offense when he was running it because he ran point center on the Tibbs, he it was the worst in the league, and he can't score, and he can't really run that well. So him come. So we have a lot of young guys, Bobby Portis, we have Nico Mirotic, we have um, Taj, we have younger people, we have younger big men that can. Tony Snell is another one. We have younger big men that can develop better in this system. I like Noah. I'm so glad that he's taken the role of sixth man or the role of first man off the bench better than most of us have thought. But I don't agree with Charles and Kenny at all. Like you can do things against the Bulls because the way the offense is. They're taking offense over defense. But most teams that run motion offense, you're gonna have to outgun people. But if you can get like timely stops, somewhat like they did in the last few minutes of that game, they'll be fine. Um, I still don't know what that means in the playoffs. Because in the regular season, every this team will probably win the most games in the regular season in the East specifically. But I still don't know what that means in a 5 or 7 game series, though. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can't put them in the finals.
And then, historically, in the playoffs, it goes to a lot more half court.
Exactly. So I want to see how this offense adjusts in a half court setting because last year when we got to half court, we didn't know what to do. So I want to see, yeah, this is fun during the regular season, and as we've seen with early Mavericks teams and the Phoenix teams, that style of play doesn't work. This really, like we said in the preview, in the other vid, this really won a championship for the first time with last year's Golden State squad. So I really want to see how this goes. But Cleveland, I still have them in the finals against OKC, and their bench is a lot better. But they had a couple of J.R. Smith is a clown. That technical, basically, it shouldn't have, but that technical was vital in the last few minutes of the game. And Mo Williams should not be inbounding the ball. Like, that was a miscue on David Blatt's part. He should not be inbounding the ball. A forward or big man should be inbounding the ball. Mo Williams should be out there setting up for a shot, period.
Uh-huh.
So, like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is not. And then, you're throwing in between a tall man with a crazy wingspan, and like they cut off they cut off the pass. There was a bat away, and they won the game. So for what I saw, the first game, it was awesome, but there's some issues. I like Nico in the starting lineup a lot. I think he's going to do well in this offense. The problem that I saw, because you really couldn't tell. I mean, there was some runs like that in the Cleveland game, but there was big runs like that there was big runs like that in the last preseason game and in the game against the Nets. And I didn't see a lot of the Nets because I wanted the Nets Bulls game because I was concentrating on the OKC game. But from what I saw, Bulls were up, and then hello?
I'm here.
Okay. From what I saw, the Bulls were up, and then when you get the recap, I got the recap today, and it was like there was a lot of runs there's a lot of like 10-0 runs by the Nets, and the Nets aren't good. The Nets should be dispatched relatively quickly. And even though the final score was 100 to 115 or 101 to 115, apparently there was a lot of times where the Nets were able to get to within 2 or 3 points, and against a better team, you're not going to be able to do that and still win. So, but from what I saw in the Cleveland game, that was cool. And Powell and Jimmy and them closing out and defending Cleveland, it's a good thing. And Cleveland isn't complete yet because they still have Kyrie Irving. We won't really know about what Cleveland really, and LeBron's hurt, and you can tell that LeBron and the back issue is a problem. So, what were your thoughts about the game, man? Did you have anything to add here?
I I just think that LeBron is a diva in some aspects. And my whole thing with him is if you're the best player on the planet, quit crying about your back, quit crying about all this. Just go out and play, man.
He still had a double-double, man. I mean, I don't know what his assist total was, but he still had a double-double, man. So it wasn't like he didn't ball.
He cries too much about it. I'm the best player on the planet, and you know that. And I need you to tell me that all the time. He's a crybaby, man.
The LeBron hate begins. First game of the year, man. The LeBron hate begins. I don't understand it, man.
I mean, and I got respect for his philanthropic endeavors.
Yeah.
He's griping about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So nothing about the actual game. Just LeBron is a diva, and he's come on, man.
I was so glad he got blocked at the end. I just thought he was gonna be like, I need a backiotomy or
a backiotomy. Really? Come on, man. A backiotomy. Wow.
You know what I mean? He just, I
don't know, man. Man, dude. Well, I basically went into what I wanted to go into. Like, okay, I don't have a problem with LeBron James, man. He has back issues. I think it's not. I think now that they actually, if everybody stays healthy, it doesn't matter right now. He can kind of do what he does, and he'll be fine. Like he'll be fine. I'm not a LeBron hater, man. I'm just not. I'm not gonna sit up and.
I'm not. I'm not either. I just hate some of the things he does.
I don't really want this to turn into what has LeBron done wrong lately, because half of the stuff that people complain to him about, half the stuff that people complain about LeBron about is like, really, you just.
Yeah. I just don't like him, and some people don't like Tom Brady. I think Tom is the man, and I think he approaches it the right way.
He approaches it the way I was a 6th-round pick and I shouldn't have been, and I will make all of you pay for it.
Yeah, so I can relate to that a little bit better than I'm the greatest player on the planet, but I need you to tell me that. And I'm only going to average 20 points a game, and I'm going to try to get 19 assists because I really want to make my teammates better.
But he's a point guard. I don't care what Jalen Rose says. I don't care what, cats at ESPN say. That brother is a 6'8", 270-pound point guard. And the fact that we keep running away from this fact is astounding to me. Like, Let him run the lanes and let him do what he does, man. And he's always played like that. He's Now, does that necessarily mean that he's going to win a bunch of championships? No, he might only win what, 3? Because he might only win 1 in Cleveland. The idea that he's going to win, he might make it to a bunch of finals, but he might not win a lot of them. So, but I don't think LeBron is like on the Mount Rushmore of NBA players, because there is a second tier of Hall of Famers there. There's a second tier of guys. I mean, there's Mike, Magic, Bird, and I think that LeBron is the closest thing to Magic Johnson I've ever seen. But everybody compares him to Jordan, which
Bill Russell now.
Huh?
Don't forget Bill Russell.
Yeah, but Bill Russell, as far as championships go, like, I don't think you'll ever I don't think there's anybody that'll beat Bill Russell as far as championship rings. I just don't.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, when you win 10 as a player and 1 as a coach, like, checkmate, you won. Like, you're basically, we're building, statues and monuments in the Basketball Hall of Fame for you. Fine. But I think that LeBron James is like a second tier Hall of Famer, and I can't really explain it completely. I think somebody basically said that there are guys like Bill Russell, Michael, Magic. There are guys that won 3, 4, 5 championships, and then there are guys that are still Hall of Famers. I think didn't Kareem, didn't he win like 3 or 4 or 5 or something? How many did he win?
I think 4.
Yeah, there are guys that are just all time like great champions, and then there's guys like there's guys that have won 2 championships or 3 championships, or like Duncan has 5 rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Duncan has 5 rings. LeBron, Kobe has 5 rings. Like, that's just, Kobe's the second greatest 2 guard ever to touch the ball. Mike was the first. Then you got you like Bird, I think, won 3. Magic won 5. I think. Magic won 5, and Tim Duncan won 5. These are all-time greats, and then you have all-time greats too, like Bird. I think there are some people that won 2. There are some role players that Ori won 7 rings, but he's, just the luckiest role player ever. You know what I'm saying?
Steve Kerr.
Yeah, Steve Kerr. You know what I mean? And I'm not calling LeBron James a role player, but there are guys that only won 1 or 2 championships, and that's it. And and this is another reason why I compare him to Magic, and I really didn't want this to turn into a LeBron James conversation, but hey, we got time. Magic Johnson got to 9 finals and lost 4 of them.
Yeah, but that don't seem to work with LeBron, because, LeBron is, I think he's a victim of his own hype in a weird way, man. Like, they hype that dude up so bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And that's the problem. Like, he was never Michael Jordan. He was never going to be. As much as Kobe Bryant annoyed me during his career, like, that's basically, Kobe was Michael's mini-me. As soon as I looked at LeBron James's game, I was like, okay, this is Magic Johnson. This is the next Magic Johnson. But Magic Johnson, although a Hall of Famer, isn't thought of as the greatest ever. And see, out of high school, LeBron James was supposedly the greatest high school athlete to ever come in the NBA. And his game is a point guard. That's what he is. That's what he likes to do. So he just happens to be the biggest kid on the ground, on the court rather, but he happens to have the game like Magic Johnson. But everybody was like, when he came in the league, he couldn't be a point guard because he was too big and he needed to be on the block and all these things. And everybody was comparing him to Jordan and everything. And it's just like, his game is different. It's not even the same type of game. And now you got people that hate him. And then he doesn't help himself because he'll say things that's just like, he'll say things that's like, I'm the best player in the world. And it's like, yeah, but when you say stuff like that, we're expecting you to, and the fact that he's gotten
Dominate.
right. And there are games where you pass the ball off to other people and you pass the ball off to other people to get your assist numbers up and you only score 30. Now, because I respect the triple double very well, I think that a lot of his triple doubles are dominating performances. Most people don't. So it doesn't help. I also think that, even though I don't agree with this, I also think there are people that will forever discount him because he went to Miami. My thing is this though. Most athletes are independent contractors, and most professional athletes are not given the right to choose where they want to work when they graduate college or when they go pro. They're picked. They have to be chosen. I will never begrudge three black men getting together as a business transaction to win titles, because that's what that was. Three independent contractors got together and started a company, Miami Heat, to take over the league for a certain amount of time. Did it work? For that little moment in time that they were relevant, yeah, it worked. Was it a success? I don't think it was, because originally when they got together, they were supposed to challenge the 72-10 Bulls, and that didn't necessarily happen. But I won't begrudge them from doing it, and I think a lot of people still do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I just come from a different era, man. I come from like, hey, man, like Michael Jordan never had to say, I'm the best player on the planet. Everybody knew it.
Yeah, he didn't say it in front of a microphone. He said it on the basketball court, though. Two people. Yeah, I agree, man. LeBron says stuff that's just like, I'm like, why did you even say that? There's no reason to say that. But
I'm gonna ask you something, Christian. Is there somebody that you know is particularly good at like one or two things, and they don't necessarily talk about it? They just show you that they're good at it.
yeah,
So I mean, like in your personal universe or whatever. So you don't have to say all that, you know.
right. I think that I don't know, man. I think that that's just the way he is, or he got in a bad. I forgot the dynamics of that question, but I don't know. I think sometimes people get on him a lot because of little stuff that he says, and people just automatically assume that. Because, every time, like, it's weird because when they lost that game, all the crying memes came out. All the crying memes came out, you know, like if you said anything, against Cleveland, it was LeBron's dick riders. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, there are people that make a point to try to hate him, and it's like, I'm just not gonna do that.
I honestly don't hate him, bro. I just stop crying about it, dog. We know you the man.
But so you're saying he shouldn't like lay down on the court when at all? He shouldn't mention his back at all? He should just
I'm not back in, but don't tell us it's fine when we know it's not.
Well, what is he supposed to say? Like, my back really, really hurts, and because if he did the other way, then they'd be like, he's complaining.
I don't know. I haven't haven't had my mellow yellow for today, so I ain't sure.
All right, man. Well, so you didn't catch any other games, dude? Because we pretty much exhausted the opening.
You know what? I have to have a lot of time to like set my schedule up, like how I'm gonna watch games.
Mm-hmm.
I had time to do that recently.
Really? I don't even know. Well, we can talk about this after this is done. So I don't have anything else to add. We talked about LeBron way too much, but at the time that we, wrapped up these things, it was maybe 20 minutes. So this is a good. I guess this is a good stopping point. So that was the open. That was the first opening. The first two opening nights of the league.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Thanks again to PW Sports for having me. Always great to work with you guys, the nice people.
The single man operation that is Pushing Wild Black Sports. But thanks, man. We will. I will talk to you again when we can set this up because I will be going to work for the next few days, and I don't really know how my schedule is. So I guess I will talk to you when we get off mic about when we can do this. So, but I'll probably get one of these in. We'll probably get one of these in once or twice a week, maybe.
Yeah, too bad we couldn't record while you were roaming around the streets of Chicago.
Hey, man, I need a camera for that. By the way, I gotta get a GoPro camera, one of them Sony action cameras.
Yeah.
So
I had a GoPro camera. I tell you, I'd be doing some crazy stuff.
they only cost $100. You can get a GoPro camera for like I think $100 or something.
I'm gonna have to try that then.
Yeah, don't get in trouble, man.
Well, how do you know?
I'm just saying, don't get in trouble.
Hey, but anyway, this is the Push 101 with
You completely let me close, man. We're still
I don't know.
nah, you good. All right, this is Pushing Wild Black Sports with my co-host for the day, Anthony Joslin, and we bid you a good day. Later, Pushing Wild Black out.
Deuces. Go Pat.
Later.
Go Royals. Go Royals.
Hey, before we close, man, are you checking in on the games, dude?
On the World Series game,
Of course.
man, the Royals knocking them around and down.
So you gonna be a Royals fan for this series?
Well, you know what, man? Like, it's the Royals' energy is so pervasive. And one of my homies that I grew up with, he was like, man, how could you say you're not a Royals fan, man? We used to watch them games all the time, man. On what you never thought you was George Brett. So he kind of woke me up, and I kind of said, man, okay, I'm a fan.
Kind of woke you up from the slumber that was your baseball fandom.
Yeah.
Good job.
He was like, man, they gonna knock them around and down. This is before the series started. And he was like, man, if you was a Phillies fan back in the day and you liked them because they played for each other, you would love KC. So.
Oh yeah, they're a bunch of young bats, man. Get putting in work. So I'm not an American League guy unless the White Sox are in the series, but that's more a Chicago thing than anything else. I'm a diehard Cubs fan forever. But
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I respect the Royals. And I know that the Mets they're not gonna come back, so it's all good. Like it's good.
Yeah, cause hey man, that pitcher was like, that pitcher last night was standing on the mound like, what the fuck is going on? And the dude
Well, all right, bro. I'll get at you. And this has been again. Let's close again. Pushing While Black out with my esteemed colleague Anthony Joslin. Later, brother.